Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Chop Sports Daily, coming to you live from the Flipping Made Easy studio. That's flippingmadeeasy.com studio right here in Mattawa, New Jersey. Your host, Sturch, Gooch, and, of course, behind the proverbial fake-ass glass, we have Dina the Pick Bitch Simpson in the house. Beautiful desk, by the way. I'm very proud of you for putting that all together by yourself. That's incredible. I, for one, can't get behind the idea of putting things together. I am not that. I am not good with that. Like IKEA, when you send me 67 pieces to put something together, I flip out. I took 3.5 hours to put together a fucking castle for my daughter for Christmas. I want to kill everybody around.
I definitely have noticed your unwillingness to put things together around the studio.
Really?
In the past 9 months. Not necessarily, it doesn't bother me because I actually like to do it, but it's just one of those things where you're like, when you see something like a project that comes in,
actually, you know what bothers me the most? When we don't do it on the fly. How many times have we said, like, oh, we should do this, we should do that? And then I was like, you want to do it now? You know, like, I don't like waiting.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I want this whole room done.
Well.
I want the other office done. I want an office where I can sit down. The other office is in shambles right now, but we're doing things.
Well, case in point, there is a risk when we just do things on the fly, because we did that office on the fly and now we just took it apart already. So
we did. We were like, oh, this will be second recording studio. Blah, 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 blah. Like, that was like, wah. That's not a thing anymore. We don't want to do that anymore. So anyway, what's up, everybody? Happy, what's today? Wednesday, pizza night at my house. It is hump day. It is. I say pizza night at my house as if that's like changing any other night at my house. So it's like pizza 85% of the nights at my house. I feel bad for everybody.
Yeah,
involved.
Honestly, I was wondering, like, is that a thing every Wednesday or every single day?
Every Wednesday. You know, it's gotten to the point where I call up the pizza place and I'm like, and they know my number and they're like, oh, you want this and this and this? And I'm like, yep. And I'm like, you want my credit card? And they're like, nope, we got it. I was like, okay. And I just hang up the phone and 30 minutes later, bang, they're there. So anyway, excited for that because usually I don't eat during the day. Unless Dina springs some surprise lunch on me where I'm not aware that it's there. And then she's like, hey, by the way, don't starve. There's food right there. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. No, we're not starving anymore. But anyway, welcome to the show. First and foremost, if you're watching the show, like, subscribe, all that good stuff that comes with YouTube. Definitely tell your friends about it. Subscribe to it. But the way you can support Chop Sports is through our Patreon. Definitely patreon.com/Chop Sports. Bring that up, Dina, real quick. What we're doing, no, it's all good. So what we're doing is, again, 3 different tiers. There's general support. We are kicking ass right now. I think we're up to 28 people. I always add one because of Jay, who's not officially on it, but already paid for it, which is great. But there's 28 people that have jumped on relatively quick. So if you're liking the show and you like what we do and you want to throw some general support at Chop Sports, be sure to do that. And we appreciate you. There's tiers, there's percentages off merchandise. There's VIP events that we're going to be hosting in 2022 that you can come to. You can also come to the studio. Open door policy for any of you Dynasty players out there that are paying that $10 a month. You can come to the studio, watch us record, hang out, get on the show, whatever you want to do. I will mention,
too, that the tiers are somewhat fluid. They're dynamic. Like, as we think of cool things to
we'll
add
to
the tiers, we're going to be adding them. So don't think that just for what you're paying now, that's all you're going to get. We'll keep on doing things as time goes by and as we get ideas. This is just new to us.
Yeah, so. No, the Patreon world is not a slippery slope at all. It's something that will help everybody grow. Yeah, Danny coming in. How good is that coffee in that mug? Danny is actually enjoying that mug right now. He's laid up for a little while, but he said he's getting around already, which, again, that's better than me. For like 4 days after ACL surgery, I'm like, I need everything. Hand and foot, everybody help me. I can't move. And he said he's getting around already. You know what that sounds
like to me? It's a mindset.
It is. Danny's like, he was the more frustrated. Like, I've never seen the kid more frustrated when it first happened. And I knew right away, like, he's not only going to get surgery real quick, he's going to crush the rehab. He's going to get back to doing what he's doing. And he's going to do it a lot faster than me. I remember it was like 3 months in and I dropped the crutches and I made a big stink about it. Like, oh, look, I dropped the crutches. Danny's probably not even using crutches at this point. I can't tell you. I can't deny or confirm, but I would assume that he's kicking ass over there. So anyway, patreon.com/Chop Sports. Help out Chop Sports. Do us a favor and do that. Also, if you want to advertise with Chop Sports, I got off the phone yesterday with Janine from Absolute Eyewear. They re-upped. They're coming back with us. That's great. I'm so excited about Janine and Craig. And those guys have been supporters from the start, so we're happy about that. I have a phone call today. We're set up. Big business day. if you want to advertise with Chop Sports, you have a small business, you're a car dealer, you're an insurance guy, you're a lawyer, you're whatever you do, and you want to promote your business with us, we do have a podcast network which just eclipsed over 3,000 or 54,000 downloads right now, which people are listening to the podcast network, and that includes soccer podcast. That includes the Mets, the Jets. We're going to get back into the MMA and combat sports world. We got the Cowboys. We got what I'm missing something.
I was going to
Jimmy Palumbo.
We have Class A celebrities on the Joe Matarese show.
Joe Matarese, who just got a fantastic interview with Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, and then Sylvester Stallone, which again, I'm saying that as straight as I possibly can, and it's a complete joke. But he thinks that, it's a funny thing. And when I first listened to it, Gooch, when I saw the caption of like Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher joined the show, I'm like, what was my words to you? What? Like, is this a thing? Like, and then I listened to it. I'm like, this is a real interview. Like, but it turns out he edited it up a bunch, and all of a sudden,
we'll see how that plays.
Well, he's making fake interviews now, so that's fun. Crutches are in the closet already, Danny said. That's my boy right there, bro. I'm telling you, he's so much tougher than me. It's ridiculous. But anyway, if you want to advertise with Chop Sports, be sure to do so. Hit me up, shoot me a message. We will get a commercial done for you. What you're viewing right now on YouTube, if you see the Flipping Made Easy logo in the upper right-hand corner, your business can also be advertised here. It can come up on the scroll. We can throw it on the website. There's so many possibilities to advertise with Chop Sports. So thank you very much. Ashley coming in saying that her sister tore her ACL, was in bed for 4 months. Yeah, see, it's just a mindset. I was incapable of being talked to for like 3 months. I was pilled up and I'm sure Danny's done with the pain meds too while he's at it. You know what I mean? Like, Danny is a tough dude. So anyway, lots to talk about, but I have to bring up the biggest of the stories right now. And right now, I'm here to tell Gooch, I'm here to tell you and the viewers at home that there is a dominant National Hockey League team right now, and it is the New York Hockey Rangers, okay? They are the best team in the league, and it sounds like I'm Dan Sobey on that one. Best team in the league, bitch, right? They are literally the best team in hockey right now, and that's incredible, right? Like, for as young as they are, as vibrant and as fast and as ferocious, they had a couple guys, Ryan Reeves, are like guys that will pick fights. All of a sudden, they're scrappy. They are the best team in the NHL, and it's exciting because, for God's sakes, there's nothing else going on in New York right now outside the Mets signing a bunch of players during a lockout.
So this is the version of the Knicks. The hockey's
you say that, you say that, but like the Knicks were never the one seed last year.
I get it. The Rangers, and I know nothing about hockey. Well, see, that's actually not true. I probably know more about hockey than you actually think.
Nah, you don't.
For somebody that has never watched an NHL game,
we called that game, that charity game.
That's the first hockey game that I watched.
You did a fantastic job doing the most general, basic things with enthusiasm. So it made He clears it, right? And
he clears it.
He must have said that 15 times. I don't think you know any hockey. So it's like it's hard because we do have a hockey podcast coming on this network. Our boy Ray coming in with the frozen biscuit. I guess that's a thing. A hockey puck is a frozen biscuit, according to hockey sources. Just like I didn't know what the hell squeaky bum time was.
I already knew. I knew what a frozen biscuit was.
No, you didn't.
I 100% knew what a frozen biscuit was. I know what an apple is. I know what.
You know what a what is?
An apple.
An apple, like the fruit.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what a fruit is.
Wait, maybe I'm using that wrong. No, I think I am using it right.
You're saying that apple is in a sports context?
Is it not?
I don't know hockey.
Now I'm embarrassed.
Well,
I'm actually not embarrassed.
I'm actually curious.
I probably do know more than not you, but more than you think.
No,
is an apple an assist?
No, there's no way.
Are you sure?
If apple is an assist, then I'm blown away
like
by
I've
your knowledge.
Something.
I do want to ask you a couple questions though, just because I'm curious to know where you range. Right, we're gonna quiz you. Let's quiz you right now. Okay,
apple is a slang term for an assist.
Oh my God!
All right, next question. I'm feeling fucking
you feeling
good right now.
You feeling all right? Fine.
Hockey aficionado.
All right, hey, listen, Mr. Hockey. Here we go. I got a couple questions for you,
Let's do it.
I'll just off the cuff, right? Okay. In a penalty regard, right? Penalties. When a player takes his stick and basically drags down the opposing player and gets 2 minutes in the box, what is that penalty called? When he takes his stick and basically drags the person down.
Hooking.
Wow. All right. You're 1 for 1. Okay. You're a hooking penalty. Okay. This
And that's
number
a 2-minute minor.
it is a 2-minute minor, which
Next
was the name
question.
of a team. That was a name
No
of a.
looking at the comments either.
Oh yeah! Wow. All right. So
I didn't. I was actually just getting
first of all,
confirmation that I was right.
all
in
right.
the
So
comments, but I'm not
Tommy
looking
D's in the chat. He's a Ranger fan. He's coming in also. We'll talk to Tommy D more about Tommy D in a little bit.
I'm 2 for 2.
two,
I'm 3
technically.
for 3.
I mean,
because
this is
I even
crazy.
told you the penalty, the
I'm
grade
blown
of
away.
penalty that
I'm blown
it was.
away.
Okay,
And
let's
Ashley
go.
coming in saying, do field hockey next. I dated a girl who played field hockey. I learned everything about field hockey for like a season. I knew everything about field hockey for a little while.
If I know, I mean, I guess that there is probably some similarities to the rules, but
There is. I thought yes, there is. All right. So this number is retired throughout the league, and it is not only the number, but who is it? It's retired throughout the entire league.
Wayne Gretzky,
Wow. Number
99.
Oh my God, dude.
I knew
Okay.
that one.
Okay. No.
I mean,
Dina, this is not about you.
That's
Okay.
fairly.
That was easy. It was a
fairly
layup. It was a
easy.
layup. All right. I'll give you one.
I think that you realize now that like
Yeah,
you're
you
in
might
over
know a
your
little
head.
bit more than
Yeah.
I think. Okay. Here we go. Let's see. This team right now currently plays in the NHL, and they're from Nashville. What is their team mascot? I nailed them. I stumped them. You're done. Don't you dare look at the comments.
I'm not. The Nashville Predators.
Holy shit.
And is that where like Carrie Underwood's husband used to play?
I didn't know she was
Right?
married. That's a
To
total
a hockey
letdown.
player. I'm pretty sure that they met because she's like, yeah, but that's
Carrie Underwood popped up on Cobra Kai last night in the season finale. Weird.
That
Yes.
is weird.
She sang during the main event karate tournament.
I
thing.
just
But
remember
by the way,
there,
shout
I
out to
just
Brett
remember
Ernst,
there being
my
a,
guy
a,
in
a
Cobra Kai.
COVID issue with her husband being like outspoken against something, and I know that the headline didn't read like his name. It was Carrie Underwood's husband, NHL player. So I'm not sure he's
Did she by any chance dig her keys into his ride?
Probably that's
I love
dad.
Carrie.
Probably.
All right. This one I'm gonna nail
For
you.
crying out loud,
sorry,
dude.
you're done. You're gonna be wiped the floor. You've
Wait,
already
he didn't name the mascot.
you said Predator.
No, I did.
He did. He nailed it. Yeah.
I'm batting a billion.
You're batting a
right
billion,
now.
but here's where I throw the circle change, and you're just sitting back like I'm thinking fastball, and you're going to swing and miss. Ready? This player held the Stanley Cup first in 1994 for the New York Rangers. He's the first one to grab the cup and celebrate with it.
I mean, if it's Mark Messier, that's too easy. It's like a
Shit,
trick
it is Mark
question.
Messier. I really thought I was going to stump him here.
I could
Chris,
actually name more players from that team. Is
Go
it
ahead.
Adam
Go-
Graves,
Yes. What number did he wear?
9.
Yes. Wow. Okay, keep going, bro. You're getting me excited here. I'm 6 to midnight. Here we
I
go.
feel like someone lied
What-
about their hockey.
No.
Yeah, I feel like he's like a savant all of a sudden.
I watched Sports Center my whole life, and I played NHL, the video game. So I'm more. I don't watch hockey games. I don't have a team. I don't follow it. I don't care.
Give me
at
one more
all.
Ranger player from that team.
Um,
You've named 2.
I like this.
Mike Richter,
Yes. The goalie. What number did he wear?
30.
35.
30?
If I want to say. I might be wrong on that one.
Dave, careful.
My favorite player, number 23, Jeff Boogaboom.
Boom. I was gonna say him. Next.
Boogaboom's my guy.
I can tell you, he was a defenseman. and
Scoop
he
wants
likes
a
to fight.
segment called Can we Gooch the Gooch? Yeah, you know what?
I like that.
I like that a lot too. Maybe we
All right,
run with that
so,
one.
Yeah, we're gonna
But
do this now.
anyway, you just slam dunked the Christ out of
Jeff Boogaboom's number. I'm gonna say.
I just said it. I said it out loud. So
Oh,
if you didn't listen to
no,
me,
I didn't.
I'm pretty sure it was 23, if I'm not wrong.
I'm gonna say
23.
he played defense, so it's
He
like
did play
in
defense.
the 70s.
He was the hitter. He was the boomstick.
77.
He was he was 23. I'm pretty sure he was
I don't know.
23.
What is it, Tom?
Tommy D's the one who provided us with that amazing content. But dude, Gooch, I'm proud of you, bro. That's a lot. That's a lot. I did. There was a couple layups, right? But like I thought you
But
knew
then,
nothing.
the layups were followed up by like Adam Graves' number.
Ooh, 24. I was off by 1. Jesus
Right.
Christ. I'm feeling.
But what was Richter's number? That's the one that we're
thought it was-
really.
You said 30. I said 35. I could be wrong there. Brian Leach. Remember Brian Leach?
Yes,
number
yes.
2. So
Mhm.
that he was the original number 2 in New York before Jeter made it popular.
What's a corner in field hockey?
That's probably the same as
It's
a
like a
corner
cor-
as in soccer.
I would
right?
imagine, yeah. It's like when there's like a stoppage of play and you serve it up from the corner, and there's like a set play that a coach would call, and you move a certain way.
I nailed it, Danny. 35, my man. See,
I was gonna say.
and Mikey Richter, one of our. After that was King Henrik, and why we made him a king after he did nothing is beyond me. Richter at least won the Stanley Cup. I literally sent Danny. It was funny with there was like a minute left in the Monday Night Football game, and Danny doesn't like to count his chickens before they hatch, even though he was up by like 20 going into like 2 minutes left. So I sent him the clip of the Rangers winning the Stanley Cup because Danny's never done it. And the clip says like, and the waiting is over. No more curses. The New York Rangers are the Stanley Cup champions, and it's like, whatever. But I think it kind of fit. Let's Go Devils coming from Scoop. Screw you. Buka Boom, number 23 now. Wait a minute. Now we have controversy here. I said 23 originally. I said 23, and then Tommy D came back and said 24.
Hawaii Mike set his alarm at 3 a.m.
That is Hawaii Mike. Wow, I didn't even know that was Hawaii Mike for a second. But anyway, dude, I'm very impressed with your hockey knowledge. And I know that there wasn't many other than the goals that we called, there wasn't much other action, right? There wasn't action. And I know you're here for the violence. Right?
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. Who's the best fighter in the NHL?
Who was or who is?
Who is?
I don't know. Man, the Rangers brought on Reeves to be a scrapper. That's the one guy they couldn't fight. Back in the day, I want to say it was what's this guy who got Jeremy Roenick was a piece of shit. There was a couple guys where they were just scrap, and that was their entire. They were the goon. They were the goon of the squad. There was a lot of those guys back in the day when they were still not wearing helmets. Remember that? In '94, when the Rangers won the cup, there was a guy, I forget his name, didn't wear a helmet.
And then they were
I did not wear a helmet.
Then they weren't wearing face guards or eye guards. Now they're have to wear it all, right? Basically.
Sean Avery. Good call, Vinny. Sean Avery, who, by the way,
he wasn't on that team.
No, he was on the Rangers recently, back in like, I don't know, 13, 14. But no, Sean Avery, talk about a guy who turned his entire life like he was the bruiser.
Now he's like a normal person.
But not only a normal person, I think he's like a fashion mogul all of a sudden.
He was the guy that was doing weird shit when he was in the NHL, just causing issues, being on a different team.
Well, he was a Ranger. That's how I remember him. But anyway, that's a lot of hockey talk today.
And Ash, you're asking, what position did you play? I don't even think I know any position in field hockey besides goalie. I could say like forward. Center,
is that a thing? Forward,
attacker,
defense,
wing.
Center, attacker.
I would imagine. But
attack it. Oh no, that's the new mug that's now available on shopsports.shop. Good job,
I think that maybe you need to get me a little more schooled in field hockey before you start quizzing, because I do not know. I think I got the corner right, but
possibly. But yeah, not as much in that game that we call not as much scrapping, but there is scrapping to talk about. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world of mixed martial arts, MMA, Diaz and DP. Right,
this is where Tommy starts talking shit. Like
everybody and their mother thought that this all of a sudden, like if you're not an MMA fan, I'm sorry, but like for the next couple minutes, just pretend you actually.
If you're not an MMA fan, why don't you just start watching? Because it's fun.
MMA is great. My brother's a big boxing guy, so combat sports as a whole. I'm a professional wrestling guy, so like we're gonna combat sports. The powers that be are meeting next week. Myself, Gooch, and of course Tommy D. And we'll get Scoop involved. We'll get Nick Shine involved. We'll get guys that want to talk combat sports. We'll get those right mid. And she said that you didn't know that. But anyway, So anyway, combat sports are going to be coming back more prevalent in the Chop Sports podcast, and we're going to do some live shows. There's a lot of cool stuff on the horizon. But to talk about this real quick. This was a rumor that all of a sudden they were going to fight on like literally less than a month's notice. They were going to jump on the February card. People started buzzing, and it's not going to happen. Bring up the tweet. This is Nate Diaz. Now, this is where I get a little like I feel bad for the guy, and I'm worried. But here's the tweet. It says, I just talked to the UFC. I said, what's up with the DP fight? I want to fight ASAP. But they said Dustin sucks, and they don't want it. Sorry, Dustin, you suck. Hope to fight ASAP, though. Let's do this. Fist emoji. P.S. Oliveira, you suck too. Wow. Pull that down.
I think that you read it too articulately. Like you should have read it in the Nate Diaz voice, or at least like,
not surprised,
like a little.
You want to give it a try?
You want to go? You want to try it?
I mean, I can.
Go ahead.
I just talked to the UFC. I said, "What's because it has to be." You tried to do it like it was like sentences and proper. Like it's not. It's just one straight thing.
Go for it.
All right. I just talked to the UFC. I said, what's up with the DP fight? I want to fight ASAP, but they said Dustin sucks and they don't want it. Sorry, Dustin, you suck. I hope to fight ASAP, though. Let's do this. Fist. P.S. Oliveira, you suck too. And I said fist because it's a fist.
It's a fist emoji. Me and my brother send fist emojis right before a game if we're not watching the Cowboys together. But anyway, I mean, look, the guy is clearly, it's unfortunate, but I think he's I think he's completely toast. Not toasty stamps.
Noted scoop.
Toast.
I will be reading more stuff often then. If that's what the people want, that's what the people get.
Gooch is a pulse of the people. He does. He's a people pleaser. You know, like that. That's what he does. But yeah, this kid. You need the list. But that's true too. The fact is, Diaz right now is he down to one fight right on his UFC contract?
No, Diaz just re-upped, which
that was
insane.
Nick. I thought.
No, it was Nate. And if Nate Diaz didn't re-up, they would have never have been offering a short notice fight because they weren't in any rush to get Nate Diaz off the roster. I can promise you that. But now that Nate is re-upped, they could actually have a serious conversation about who Nate's going to fight next.
I can't believe they re-upped this guy.
They did officially agree to a fight or not. I'm not exactly sure because it was reported yesterday that they agreed to fight in February, right? But there's really no reason to have these guys who have been slated to fight for about 5 years now at various times to rush a fight and not promote it properly.
Now, I'll ask you this because you're more the UFC guy than I am. I mean, I'm a UFC fan, but you're a little bit more knee deep in the Nate Diaz saga because that's one of your favorite fighters.
No, he is.
He is your favorite fighter. Is this the kind of situation where it's like this fight is like 5 years too late?
Quite possibly, but
you know what I'm saying?
I don't really care. The
like
fact
when
that
Mayweather and McGregor, Mayweather and Pacquiao finally went at it. They're like, everybody's like, come on.
So as far as like, who do you want to see Dustin fight and who do you want to see Nate fight at this point?
McGregor, both of them.
But do you?
Yeah,
I don't want to see either
I
of
want
those
to see it
fights.
for the ambiance and the pre.
Give me this fight
and the press conference.
I don't think Nate has much of a chance in this fight. I'm gonna be honest. Like I think that Poirier, Nate always has that chance because he has a chin and he has the submission game and he's just a tough game ass opponent. But at the end of the day, Nate's best days are definitely behind him. He's been hit a lot of times. He's on the wrong side of 35, I think, at this point. So he's getting up there in age. And Poirier as well. I mean, like, it's hard to maintain the level that Poirier has been at for a long time. So you could expect to possibly see a regression with him. He's moving up to welterweight. First time at a new weight. It could be better. It could be worse. Sometimes you lose your cardio when you move up in weight. Sometimes you
I know that happened to me.
It's just there's a lot of variables. There's a lot of variables. I think just from a pure speed standpoint, Poirier wins the fight because I think just Nate's going to be a little too slow for him.
Does Dustin kind of know that? That's why he's so like open to this. Like he knows he can just go out there.
Dustin's down to fight a guy that he thinks he might lose to. And honestly, Nate, he might lose to Nate. You never know. I just think when you look at this fight, the optics, the speed that Poirier brings to the table, he's also very tough. It's not like you could just steamroll him. Nate's not going to take him down. It's going to be a stand-up war. If Dustin wants to take
that's
Nate
what we want,
down,
though.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get hit a lot, Nate. Nate's going to get hit a lot.
All right, so percentage. Give me a percentage of the likelihood that this fight actually happens.
40%.
Okay, so not even 50.
Even when they fight and they sign it and there's a date, because right now they don't have a date.
Somebody pulls off or something happens.
Yeah, like when we're talking about Nate Diaz, until they weigh in, anything could go down. And I'm not saying that Nate Diaz is definitely not a pullout artist. He doesn't sit here and pull out fights. But just there's a lot of variables, and when they feel disrespected at any turn, they could just fly off the handle. Although Nate is far less likely to do that than his brother Nick. But yeah, I'm excited. I hope we get to see the fight. Even if it's for Nate getting his ass beat, I'd rather see him lose to a guy like Dustin than him fight a Khamzat who's, just using Nate's name to build himself. At least Nate right here is earning a paycheck. Dustin's earning a paycheck. They're both bringing name value, and it'll be a big money fight for both of them.
Yeah,
that's what they're doing.
I dig it.
It's a prize fight.
And talk about prize fighting. Why don't we talk about Mr. YouTube superstar himself then? Because that is another thing that just keeps on ticking. I posted it within Chop Sports, the Facebook group, after Jake Paul went public with his demands, right? His quote demands to Dana White, president of UFC, which, by the way, if you guys aren't aware, Dana White no longer owns the UFC. So all these things that are being demanded from Jake Paul to Dana White doesn't even have that stroke. I mean, he's got the pull, but he doesn't have the stroke. Is what I'm saying is he doesn't have authority figure.
For the things that Dana White is allowed to do, he wouldn't do, and Jake Paul knows that. So all these demands that he's making when he issues the guarantees and he says, I'll retire from boxing if you do this, this, and this. There's just no incentive for Dana to do that. Dana White doesn't care that you're boxing. He doesn't really want to risk hundreds of $millions just to see you get beat up once. If he waits long enough, he'll see that in boxing. So there's no reason for it. I think that personally that this is a fake feud. and I don't mean that they like each other. I'm just thinking that if Dana White didn't want to pay Jake Paul any mind, he simply wouldn't talk about it. But he knows as well that Jake Paul is good business.
These click, click,
Exactly.
click,
People
click,
are
click,
clicking,
yeah.
and Dana White plays the game just as well as anybody does, if not better. Jake Paul and Dana White are using each other's name at this point. And if Jake Paul loses and fizzles out, then Dana White will move on to the next guy. But you're not going to see a guy, at least a star in the UFC, get released from his contract while he has name value. You saw Anderson Silva fight out his contract, get released for his final fight. That was like a favor to Anderson for all he's done for the company. But you don't see, and this is one thing I'll agree with Dana on, you do not see Jake Paul calling out Anderson Silva. Anderson's got no contract. He could go fight you tomorrow. Why not? He's a big name. You want to know why?
Because Jake Paul gets starched.
He will light you the fuck up.
That's what I'm saying. Jake Paul is again, every time this kid winds up in the news, his own. Well, go ahead.
No, Tommy says he's looking for attention. We keep giving it to him. Of course we are. That's what people want to hear. That's what it's like. I'm not going to sit here and do myself a disservice by not talking about it. It is interesting to me. I'm here for it. I'm down. If just to be clear, what the guarantee was if Dana White agreed to pay 50% of all revenue to the fighters. Like what? No.
We don't even get that in pro wrestling.
Nobody gets that in anything. Maybe in like real sports where there's unions, but they don't have it like that in the UFC. They're independent contractors.
Correct.
It's just ridiculous to even think. And then he's saying he'll retire from boxing and fight Jorge Masvidal in the UFC fight.
So all of a sudden he's retiring from boxing, but also giving himself a UFC contract.
Yeah. Sign a one-fight deal to fight Jorge Masvidal. Do you know what would happen in that fight, first of all? So that's fake because he knows Dana's not going to do it. It's like what the UFC was doing.
Dana doesn't have enough insurance to do that.
It's the very thing, and here's why I know they're playing the same game. It's the very thing that the UFC was doing to Nate Diaz when he only had one fight left. They're offering him crazy fights that he knows he's not going to take. The UFC knows Nate's not going to take the Khamzat fight, and they're saying, look, we offered you the fight. You're not going to take it. And they're holding their end of the obligation while publicly making him look like he's ducking somebody when we all know that he's not taking that fight. It's all wolf tickets. Anyway,
I mean, it's just crazy because first of all, Dana White came out and said, like, if you want all these demands, start your own company. People have tried to do that. Bellator, right? All these other
there's
side
money to be made.
There's money to be made. Jake Paul, here's a shout out to you, bro. You got this money. You continue to brag about the money that you have, and you want all these demands for these MMA fighters. Start your own company. Start your own company. Bring Masvidal over there when the time is right and his contract's up. Bring Silva. Bring all these ex-fighters. Go ahead. And then you can pay them whatever the fuck you think they're worth. Because right now, you can't do that. And there's no ground to what he's saying.
And the funny part
saying?
is like Jake Paul is looking at Dana White as like this piece of shit promoter. You're in the same business. The guy that you got standing next to you is clearly also a piece of shit promoter. That's what these guys do. Dana White's a good businessman. Jake Paul, guess what? He's also a really fucking good businessman, and it's good business. I want to see Jake Paul get knocked out, but until he does, I also want to see all the bullshit that leads up to it. I'm here
Bold
for
statement.
all of it.
Jake Paul will never get knocked out if he gets to keep picking his opponents.
He absolutely will eventually get knocked out. If you keep on making the walk, eventually you get fucking knocked out.
Question
if he
for you.
stops making the walk, then he won't. But he will.
He'll continue to fight. He's going to fight Antonio Brown before the end of the year.
He's not Khabib. He's not Fedor.
Did you see? Do you have any thoughts about the wrist flick? Did you have seen that video of Jake Paul doing the like kind of doing that? He had his. Did you see this video yet?
No.
All right. So Jake Paul has his hands cocked like he's about to fight. He's about to punch Woodley, right? And all of a sudden you see this, Chris. You got to see this to see it, right? He goes like this. He like flicks his wrist, right? The next.
I'm looking
punch,
at you, but
the next punch thrown was the knockout blow. So there's people saying all of a sudden this is kind of prepping Woodley. Hey, the knockout blow is coming. Eat dirt on this one. No.
Well,
so what was this?
Well, maybe he's just trolling and playing the game again. Genius, because he's just creating the buzz that as long as he's being talked about, that's all that matters. So if he did this, that's fine. But really, what it comes down to is, if you watch that fight, he was going low with the body, and then he was throwing the overhand right. He was having Tyron guess what he was going to do. That wasn't really great technique. But if you see boxers get hit, usually they get hit because they made a mistake. Tyron's an amateur boxer. He's not a boxer. So he got fooled. You could say it was fixed all you want. He got knocked out. I would have loved
to see
cold.
Tommy Fury get in there. Like, just because he's got the boxing background at least.
He's a
bitch too for pulling out of the fight, and I get that, but it's like you got to know and you got to want, after seeing these fights and seeing how they all play out, and he's knocked them all out, right? You got to be rooting for him to face a boxer at some point of his life, and I don't know if that's going to happen, because guess what? He dictates the rest of the way. He says no to certain fights, right? He says yes to certain fights, knowing their background. Ben Askren was not a boxer.
I will say this. After the Askren fight, there was guys like DC, me, you, Tom, anybody was saying, you know what? Like, I don't want to see you fight a guy like Ben Askren. At least fight someone like Tyron Woodley.
And then he did,
and that's not good enough. So if you look at the beginning of all these young boxers' careers, if you look at the guys that they fight when they're coming up, granted, they all have extensive amateur careers. So they have some legitimate acumen backing what they've done up to that point in their career. But typically, as a pro boxer, you look at Canelo's first 5 fights. You look at, they're not fighting anybody as good or as name value as a Tyron Woodley, as risky as that fight. They're fighting cans that are 6-12, and that's their first pro fight. That's not a pro fight.
So
that's
sort of like Rocky 3, when like all of a sudden like Mickey's mad at Rocky and saying that those last 10 title defenses.
As far as where Jake Paul is at his boxing career, we'll call him a pro boxer. He's not a pro boxer. He's fighting amateurs. He hasn't fought a pro boxer. When he fights a pro boxer in a like actual sanctioned event by the WBO, something that actually means something to boxing, then we'll talk. But until then, he's not. It's just fun to watch. He's a prize fighter. I'm here for it. Hopefully we could not even move on from it, because I really don't want to. I'm, like I said, it's interesting stuff to me. But
yeah,
as far as today goes,
yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. But Stipe Miocic coming out, he's bum. He's probably maybe that was my Rocky 3 reference. He's a bum. But anyway, so yeah, there's a lot going on. Also, let's call it how we see it here. We brought up Jake Paul. We've been beating the NFL over the head. We have, because it's NFL, it's playoff time. We definitely want to spice things up with the show. We also want to leave it up to you guys, right? I mean, it is an interactive sports community. So if you guys ever want to talk about something that you want us to debate, feel free to drop it in the comments, man, because there's plenty of shit that went down yesterday that we kind of didn't even braze over. Look, yo, Rutgers, you're wearing a Rutgers shirt.
We need to drop
Rutgers, baby.
We need to have a whole ass team out there giving us topics to talk about. If we have people that want to hear certain things, I would like to know about it. So maybe we come up with like some type of way to reach us through email or something like that, other than just the comments, so we could prepare segments for people.
Yeah, I'm with that. But
Suggestion box.
Yeah, suggestion box. How about that? But here we go. Danny coming in. Here's a wow. If I did not see this before, Joe Mixon on the COVID list. That's big news. Only for the sole purpose of the Bengals are trying to get the 2 seed.
And as you say that, I just got the notification saying Joe Mixon is now off the COVID list, because apparently the COVID list doesn't matter anymore in the NFL.
Wait, are you serious?
No, I'm joking.
Oh.
But like that's
Like,
going to be the
shit.
next thing that you see is like, oh, he just gets a couple days off practice, but he's going to play Sunday. I guarantee it.
You think he plays Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's big, because now, all right, so this is where I'm at with the COVID stuff with the NFL. You got to be careful now, because now it's playoff time, right? So if you want to go out and get your COVID,
I would almost be like, it's all right, guys, it's Sunday. Who didn't get COVID yet?
Yeah, please go.
Everyone get in that, go over in the room, and then who has COVID here? Someone go in there and cough. Everyone take a deep breath, and then get it out of the way Monday, because by Sunday we need you. That's what I would do at this point.
What was that, Dina?
I'm not even joking.
I don't know if you guys saw the Knicks game last night, but Julius Randle just came back from having COVID and played the best game of his life.
So maybe COVID is a good thing.
They're saying that he already got ruled out. He can't test out.
So he's not vaccinated, which, by the way, shout out to the NFL for making these protocols the way they are, because now you're singling out players. The NFL are pieces of shit for that. You know, when you're not supposed to know people's vaccination status
for a lot of other reasons.
Agreed. But I'm saying for you to make a specific rule to say that, like, oh, unvaccinated players can't test back in, right? That's such garbage, because you're literally segregating those players. The Carson Wentzes of the world, the Kirk Cousins of the world. You're basically putting their stances and their beliefs on a pedestal and knocking them down by saying, like, guess what? You can't play now. Meanwhile, there's healthcare workers going back to work today with COVID. So I don't want to hear this shit. The NFL has not done this right, okay? They've not done it right. They've tried to listen to the CDC. They've come back and they've screwed this up, right? They're literally singling out players based off their decisions and their rights. And that's garbage. You can't do that. That's not right to any of these players. Why should my vaccination status be on public news?
I mean, we've been saying
That's what
this.
you say right away.
We've been saying this is the same thing with the Kyrie situation. It's the same thing across the board in all phases of the game right now. It's just highlighted because we're sports fans and we're on a sports show. But like you said, healthcare workers, you name it, everybody's dealing with bullshit right now. The NFL.
Yeah, the NFL. Here's cousin Vinny coming in. What about the time when the NFL basically announced the fines for Cole Beasley based off violations? You can't do that.
HIPAA.
That's a HIPAA, right? It's a HIPAA law. I worked in healthcare. Like, you can't do that.
I don't know why.
I worked at Health and Fitness
I'm just
Professionals,
not surprised by
Woodbridge, New
it.
Jersey.
And the NFL actually is following the CDC. So they are doing dumb shit. But
Fine.
the only reason why we're noticing anything discrepancies is because the NFL is following the CDC. It's like that's who your issue should be with in reality, because they're only doing what's actually allowed.
Yeah,
and
but
as far as the
But they
media
still have
goes
to talk
and the
about
press
it.
releases, we all knew that was the case. It's like, who controls the media here? You
yeah, but
understand?
no, what I'm
I don't
saying
wanna
is
get down this
they
rabbit
are
hole
following
because
this.
it's
They are following the CDC. They are, right? But the CDC doesn't come out and say, hey, everybody, here's the test results, but the following people are pieces of shit because they didn't get vaccinated. Joe Smith, Bobby Jones, you know what I mean? Like, all these names all of a sudden that you're singling out.
yeah,
The NFL
yeah,
is doing
of
that to
course.
these players, and that's not fair.
Of course. Like what happened with Rodgers? What happened? They're talking about Cole Beasley. There's a lot of these guys. My computer's about to die.
All right, HIPAA law. Robert Bohannon coming in. That's your boy, right? That's the coworker. Whatchamacallit? It's 2022. The HIPAA law thing is out the window. That could be a thing, but that sucks. You know, like these NFL players, they have the right to choose, just like everybody else in the world, right? But me, Dina, Gooch, we don't have to have a sit-down round table and say, which one of you guys is vaccinated? And if not, why? You know what I mean?
Well,
like, the NFL is singling these people out.
They make
That's not right.
They make a lot of money, and that's why. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but that's par for the course when you get paid that big ass contract, is for the public to have an idea as to exactly what's happening in your life. And that's why I agree that they get paid the money they get paid. When people like athletes get paid too much, no, they generate the revenue. They put our eyes on them. That's part of it. That's part of it.
Hawaii might come in and saying also players give up their HIPAA rights on the injury report. I guess that's health, right? I mean,
sign consent for that though.
I don't know, but at this point, I just think it's complete garbage how they're treating these players at this point. Let them all play and shut up. You know, like, just let them all play. It's over. This whole thing, this scare, this, it's just bullshit at this point. Everybody should play. We're about to hit the playoffs. If this comes back to bite a team in the playoffs, there's going to be an uproar. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, that first round that's coming up next week, if somebody tests positive on a Tuesday or Wednesday of playoff week, they are out.
Like I said, I'd be loading all my guys into a room, and I would be like,
but if they're unvaccinated, it's 10 days, right? So that's their new thing, all right? I mean, come on. Like, it's just.
Well, then if
they
were unvaccinated, I would have done that shit a while ago. I was giving it to him a while ago. I know that's terrible.
Kyle Kerm's coming in. Yo, remember when Hawaii Mike tried taking misguided shots at Trayvon Diggs yesterday and the sauce sunned him in the comments section? No, I don't remember that. Did I not? Is it? Wait, there was a post yesterday about Trayvon Diggs about how he has 11 picks, but he also could possibly give up 1,100 yards receiving, so he can be in the 11-11 group, like Jameis Winston was in the 30-30 group. Y'all got to get off Trayvon Diggs, man. That ball is near him. He's picking it off. So, like, that's a silly comment. Don't make fun of Trayvon Diggs, the guy. Kyle Fauci performing at halftime.
No, it was like, don't be surprised if Fauci is flipping the coin at the Super Bowl. That was fucking golden. Absolutely solid.
Oh, my God. Could you imagine him going out to the middle of the field, right? And just saying, like, okay, heads, tails, and there's actually a third side of the coin that y'all didn't know about. You're like, wait, what? Hold on. Wait, it's Ted's. Wait. Hold on. Like, you're making things up as you go.
The pandemic. I am the pandemic. Fauci is the pandemic. The NFL is the pandemic.
Heads is a COVID positive result. Tails is a Omicron variant decal.
I would much rather continue to bash Fauci and the NFL than get into the Trayvon Diggs conversation.
This is kind of true.
Because basically what it's going to be is a rehashing of Kyle and Mike, Hawaii Mike, just beefing back and forth and regurgitating the same points that both have actually merit. They really do. There is both sides of this coin. I know it's hard for maybe Kyle and Dave to see it that way, but
Kyle's a less Cowboy fan than I am.
I know, but for whatever reason,
that's not a diss. I just know.
No. I know, but I saw his his chart. He sent me his chart about
there's a chart.
What he's won and lost this year and how much money he's made betting certain teams. And first of all, it's basically all I read on the chart was stop fading Green Bay, Kyle. Stop fading Green Bay, and maybe stop betting Dallas so much. No, I'm kidding, because Dallas is 12-4 against
right?
I'm just talking
spread.
shit, but I just think that Kyle has a little bit of a soft spot for Trayvon Diggs, more so than the Cowboys.
He should.
No,
I love Fauci.
No, you do not.
Oh my God, Ashley, you'll be banned.
You're going to be banned.
You're going to be banned from the comment section. We have the ability to do that. Don't you dare do that again.
Nobody loves Fauci.
Nobody. And imagine, let's see. Imagine carrying this much over a mediocre corner, Scoopaloo. He's such a dick. He said, it's comments like that. He's not a mediocre corner, for the love of God. He's got 11 goddamn interceptions, double digits. That doesn't happen anymore in the NFL, man.
I don't think that he should be mentioned in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation, though.
No, I don't think so either. Because of the yards.
Yeah.
I'm not an idiot. I watch the games.
For
every pick, for every amazing 50-50 ball he comes down with.
Any single fan of any team in the league would take Trayvon Diggs on their team. That's a fact. So anybody could talk all the shit they want. If you want to make the case that he's not the Defensive Player of the Year, he's not the best corner, that's fine. But everybody would take him. And they would all take LeBron too. Just so we're clear.
We love you, Ashley.
Ashley coming in good. Ban me. Don't tempt me with a good time. Let's see. Vinny coming in. Trayvon Diggs, the underperforming Diggs brother. That's also not true. Stephon Diggs has regressed a little bit. Like, I know he got my brother his fantasy title, but other than that, Stephon Diggs has definitely regressed. Let's talk about that Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah, that's a foregone conclusion at this point, Gooch. Do you not agree with that? Or are you answering a text from Ashley getting very upset right now?
No. I was actually reading a text from Rob.
Was texting you on the side?
Yeah.
Side DMing you right now during this? I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all.
It's funny, though, because he's saying something about MMA. It was about MMA. And it's not Parsons, no.
It's not Parsons because of last week. When the race is that tight, it's a week-to-week basis. So every week we see Micah Parsons do amazing things, and I'm a Cowboys fan, so I love Micah Parsons. I love what he's done. I love what he can do for the future of this defense. However, TJ Watt is one sack away from setting a record at this point. And I just think that TJ Watt is probably the guy who's going to win this thing based off his either record-setting thing or whatever he does. Now, I will ask you this. Will there be – I mean, I know the NFL – I know. Light bulb, I got an idea again. There's a thing right now, and I'm going to poll the audience, I guess, maybe too, the guys that are chiming in. Do you think that if TJ Watt gets this record on Sunday, right, do you asterisk it a little bit because of a 17th game? I know he personally has missed games, but this is an additional game for him to go chase a record.
No
asterisk.
No, it's not like
you're getting an additional game to break a record.
Is Cooper Kupp going to get is every single record in the NFL ever been
That's what
broken?
I'm trying to tell you. I've tried to tell you that multiple times.
No, I know, but they don't put asterisk next to anything. Does Jerry Rice's record have the asterisk for the opposite reason, that there was a strike shortened season in 14 games? He had those numbers, and then Calvin Johnson broke it in 16. They don't put an asterisk there. Do they, they changed the amount of games played several times throughout the history of football and several times throughout the Super Bowl era. It wasn't just recent.
Sacks weren't recorded until 82. So I know there was guys back in the day that probably had 54 sacks. And I get that part. But I'm saying now with guys being incentivized based off awards or incentivized based off records, Vinny coming in 61 homers in 1961. Yeah, that was shattered. And then the game went up to 162 games. Totally agree. Like those things. That's why there's an asterisk because it's Bonds. there's other reasons why there's asterisks.
That's a very good point.
What?
Yeah, I don't know that there's a guarantee that TJ Watt gets it or TJ Watt gets the Defensive Player of the Year because Kyle made a great point and then Rob made a great point in the comments that they're the 32nd ranked team against the rush in the NFL. How could you really be the Defensive Player?
Yeah, but what are they against the pass? I mean, that's a thing.
But my point is, the defense that you're anchoring is the worst in the league against one of the biggest phases of the game. To me, that is automatic outlaw. Like you're done. You're done. The same reason why Trayvon Diggs is done, because you have two bad, you can't be the Defensive Player of the Year and give up the most yards. It just doesn't add up. Michael Strahan broke the record and didn't receive one vote that year because the team wasn't in it. There were 8, their record wasn't good.
And let's be honest, Brett Favre took a dive. So Brett Favre, classy A human, by the way. Love Brett Favre. But yeah, I guess then, all right. So I'll ask you this, Gooch. If it ain't TJ Watt and it ain't Micah Parsons and it ain't Trayvon Diggs, who the hell is it? Who wins?
Probably Myles Garrett.
Not a bad play. Okay.
I mean, he
Not
was
a
the
bad
guy
play.
that I thought was going to
Well,
win
no,
it
Danny
all
just
year.
comes in and says that means Garrett's done too.
Why?
Maybe the Cleveland defense is no good, or the Cleveland
They're
Browns
saying
stink.
that only records matter. If only the records matter, then that's what.
Well, I'm not saying that only the records matter. I'm saying that there's two things that are going against him in this case, where A, it's the record, and B, it's also that they're just not a good defensive team.
Yeah, I mean, look, it could be it's ticky tacky right now. I'm interested to see it. I would love nothing more than for Micah Parsons to win it because look, he hasn't done
Well, if
anything
it's
wrong.
based on record, then maybe it should go to Devondre Campbell.
Oh Christ!
Comment of
Just
the day.
saying.
Here we go.
Just saying.
Dina is right. Oh, okay. There's the comment of the day. It's an award. Speaking of awards, the comment of the day goes to Dina. Congratulations. You win that, and we'll give you a free seat in this office whenever you want. So
Yay.
come on in. But anyway, Aaron Donald. I'm done with Aaron Donald, man. Come on. The guy wins it every goddamn year. Like
They're also terrible against the run and the D tackle.
Correct. Like Aaron Donald was like the default, like when MVP's default quarterback. And I even think that about Super Bowl MVPs, which sucks. I think it always goes like when they don't have a clear-cut guy, they just give it to the quarterback, and that's garbage. I think it's complete garbage. They should definitely give it to somebody that literally deserves it. To be fair, Aaron, does he roll? I mean, like, I don't know, man. Aaron Donald, like, look, we all know what he's capable of doing, but like the stats back it up at this point. I don't know. I haven't looked at Aaron Donald's stats. He gets triple teamed every time. Yeah, I know. Sounds like a fun.
Well, then Devontae deserves MVP.
Oh god,
because he gets triple teamed every play too.
But yet he had 13 catches for $186 or the other night. Like it was just like clockwork at that point. I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting conversation because of the fact that there's 17 games and there's another game to be played this week, week 18 for the first time ever. Tomorrow, we are going to start finally diving into the college national championship game between Georgia and Alabama. Also, which is funny, I brought up Michigan before, Gooch. Like he's so sidetracked right now today. Like you're sidetracked.
No,
I am not a fan of text Gooch. But anyway, I want to bring this up. We talked about Rutgers dethroning Michigan for the first time in like 90 friggin' years, right? Speaking of Michigan, did you read about Jim Harbaugh
Yes.
potentially dipping out? Do you think that there has any merit? They'll be coaching Dina's Raiders.
Yeah, of course
apparently.
I think it has merit because that's what coaches do. That's what coaches do. If he could get another NFL job, I could definitely see it happening. They get tired fast. It's like they need 2 or 3 years and they want another opportunity. That's
Michael
like
K. Michael K. brought up a good
definitely going to see Harbaugh in the NFL again.
Michael K. brought up a good point, saying that maybe Jim Harbaugh knows at this point of his career and at this point about the program in Michigan that Michigan could never compete with an SEC team. So like that championship aspiration.
I feel like Jim Harbaugh knew that long before he joined Michigan staff or he became the head coach at Michigan. Now,
what are
he's
they
done
gonna
a
do
good
about
job.
this, man?
I feel like they're peaking. How much better could the Michigan recruiting get? They're not able to recruit in Florida and Texas. They're recruiting from a particular region. They do get guys from other places, obviously, but yeah, it's just not going to happen for Michigan. They're peaking, and I could say that about a lot of teams. Ohio State's the only team I could see that's ever really going to contend with the SEC consistently. You might have a year or two here and there for Michigan, but really what it comes down to is dollar signs. And if he wants more money from Michigan and get more money and they want to keep him, then he'll start talking about an NFL job.
Rob O'Hannon saying there's no way he leaves Michigan because you have no control over the players in the NFL like you do in college. That's an ego thing.
I don't know. I think that you could.
if you're the head coach of the NFL team, you have control of your players.
I could see a guy that's been like an Urban Meyer type, or like even Harbaugh has been in the NFL a long time. Football player, his brother's a coach. He was a coach. I just think it's a little bit different. I think college is a little less fitting for Harbaugh because, you almost have to walk the line a little more in college because they're college athletes. They're not pros. Maybe it's a little different now with the NIL, but
I don't know. But yeah, tomorrow we're going to try to get our boy Matt back in studio to talk college football. He was the guru last week. He had a lot of good insight on the college football championship. We'll get onto that. We'll talk to Kyle later on, see if he's coming back in here for another episode of Lean Fridays to talk about his NFL picks. We'll talk to him, see if we can get him in here as well. It's a loaded week. The NFL is obviously coming to its end. So it's depressing all at the same time, but the playoffs are here, and there's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about going forward. So that'll do it, I think, for this this episode and this show. We've talked about a lot. We've talked to a bunch about a lot of different things, and we also found out that Gooch actually knows hockey, which is
I'm probably going to start a hockey podcast next week, guys. But
you want to produce Rays?
There'll only be 3 episodes, and they'll never drop on time, right? And then it'll fizzle out just like everything else. But
you're a busy guy, bro.
I do not want to produce Rays podcast.
No,
because
you can learn more. Don't look at me like that.
I have a joke, but
keep it there. Keep it buried. Keep it buried.
To that for a couple minutes.
Oh man, that's it. More Chop Sport. Danny saying that's it. More Chop Sport. He wants a whole 3-hour show as he sits there, and now he has to. You know what Danny has to do now? He's got to go turn on the talking heads, man, and listen to those goofballs on the FS1s and ESPNs and NFL networks and all these guys that are just going to say, "Is Mike McCarthy going to cost the Cowboys a playoff game?" And they talk about that for 35 minutes.
Yes.
as Gooch has distinctly determined, yes,
will cost them.
Oh man. Well, in any event, Danny, guess what? There is a plethora of videos on our YouTube channel. Go hit play and just enjoy and embrace. So that would help us out too, as a matter of fact. So for all our new Patreon members, welcome to the team. Thank you guys so much. And of course, again, advertising opportunities with Chop Sports. Be sure to hit me up, inquire within. Where can you get some Chop Sports merch? Rob, I'm glad you asked, because you can head on over to chopsports.shop to find awesome hoodies like the one I'm wearing right now, which is getting a lot of rave reviews. A lot of people are coming in saying that blue hoodie it brings out the color of your beard and your eyes, and everything pops, right? So the blue hoodies, the thing, we got more products on there. We got hats, we got beanies, we got all sorts of good stuff. Go check it out. It's winter. Go stock up on that. Dina's wearing a Chop Heads MMA hoodie, which again, powers that be. Me, Gooch, and Tommy D will talk.
Water bottle somewhere.
You do have it somewhere along these lines. There's water bottles now. There's mugs, which obviously people are rocking those mugs left and right. This mug was left overnight, which Dina, if that was yours.
Mine's pink.
Oh, yours is pink. So somebody else, Gooch, left a mug here.
No, mine's right here.
Yeah. So what the hell? No, who's drinking over here?
No, that's mine from yesterday.
Oh. So and you got on me for leaving my shaker bottle, that's.
Well, wait. I left my mug there overnight. It's gonna get washed today, right?
Right.
You left your shaker bottle in the sink.
Scoop needs a cold
for
shower. 7
months with protein milk in it. I opened it. You were like, "What happened to my shaker?" I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? When? At what point did you decide that you were gonna use that shaker again? Was it like, oh, I'm saving that?" I don't get it. There was no way that's humanly possible to.
You think it would have killed me if I would have put something in it and drank it?
Yeah, there's no
poison.
No, it would have killed you to wash it, to smell it and to have to actually wash it.
Overnight protein.
Not gonna happen.
I clean my shit out every day now because I just don't want that to happen again.
Terrifying.
Got a protein up, ladies and gentlemen. Scoop coming in. I just never knew this daily show could get me sexually excited. Well, you know what, dude? That's what happens. 21 years of that, Gooch. You know what though? Danny is like one of these. Danny is Danny Tanner. He's like a clean freak where he needs things like spick and span at all times. Blah blah blah. I am the same way. Just dialed down a little bit.
What about that Elio's pizza plate?
I was the only person in the history of mankind every day after school, every day, 3:30, never failed, right? Came home, threw Elio's in the microwave. Shut up. And it was good. It tasted like rubber, but it was good, right? But the problem was if you left it for too long, and you would have to scrape it up, it would just be the square. The residue. You would have to I would use a Brillo pad and just go freaking ham on that bitch just to make sure it was clean. But Danny has a good point. That's fine. Oh, the Attack It mug. Johnny coming in. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We do still have Chop athletes, as a matter of fact. We have Tverdov. We have John Paz. We have Madison Palumbo, our very first female Chop athlete. There's a brand new mug out there. So if you want to support Madison, she's getting coin every time somebody buys a mug. So go support Madison Palumbo as well. We also reacquired JoJo. We'll work on his stuff going forward. We got a lot of stuff to work on. Bootsy, my girl over in Maryland. We do have a lot still to offer all of our Chop athletes as well. So support those guys because there is merchandise on there. There's Jimmy Palumbo merchandise. He's got about 15 variations of a shirt. Go check that out. I kind of miss Jimmy. Is he ever coming back to the studio?
Yeah, I'm sure Jimmy will be back. There was a little COVID hiatus. And then also I think that you and Jimmy need to have a rough and rowdy match. Honestly.
You think me and Jimmy got to go at it?
Yeah. I think you need to settle your differences.
I don't think there's many differences. I just get mad at him when he just
Bang it
talks out of turn.
I don't know that there's any differences per se. I'm
I
just
love
trying
Jimmy.
to promote a fight, and I'm here for the violence.
Can
No,
I-
Jimmy will be back. Of course, Jimmy will be back, man. Like he's got to record some podcasts, but
There's a
right
different
now it's
feel when he's
easier.
not in studio.
And also, we're trying other things out because it's winter time, man. It's shitty out. It's a
It
long
was
drive
icy
for
as
him.
shit getting
So,
here today.
we just want to make sure that when Jimmy isn't able to get here, we don't run into issues, and that's what we're able to do.
Scoop saying, what about Mama Celeste? Is that another pizza?
Yes,
I was a bigger ShopRite fan.
We didn't
ShopRite
have-
was the bigger blocks, so that's why my fat ass was like, give me bigger pizza any day of the week.
We didn't have Elio's on the West Coast, so it was Mama Celeste.
Oh, you had Mama Celeste on the West. That rhymed.
I know.
What's up?
It was good.
See, I'm not. Yeah, I got multi-talented. Anyway, we will talk to you guys tomorrow. Thank you for joining us here on Chop Sports Daily. Here, coming to you live from the Flipping Made Easy studio in Matawan, New Jersey. We hope you enjoyed the show. Tomorrow, like I said, college football talk. We're that much closer to the NFL. Lots to talk about. Also tonight, that bitch made Kyrie Irving gets back on the court. So I guess we're gonna have a little bit of something to talk about there as the Brooklyn Nets return to quote full strength with Kyrie Irving as a part-time player. So we'll see about that. So for Sturch and Gooch, and of course, Dina, thank you so much. Behind the Glass, this has been another episode. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning, ladies and gentlemen. And if you missed the entire thing, go back and rewind.
I'll
and,
probably bet
watch.
Brooklyn tonight.
Yeah?
I don't.
Are
even
they
know
your
the
main
points,
squeeze like they were? Was Memphis?
Shout out to Memphis.
Shout out to Memphis. Davey Boy cashed in on that.